All right, so Texas Cottage Food Laws and home-based food businesses. If you're looking to start that home-based food business and you want to know, do you have to pay taxes selling homemade foods in Texas? Well, you might be a bit surprised by what I'm about to tell you because you do and you don't. And I'm going to break down exactly what that means here on Cottage Foods Laws. So if this is your first video, definitely hit that subscribe button. We're all about home-based food business entrepreneurship. Let's dive right into this. So if you're thinking about starting that home-based food business in Texas, before you sell your first cookie, jam, jelly, or spice rub, you might have one thing you absolutely must understand, and that is taxes. In Texas, you actually may have some of the most friendliest cottage food laws in the country, but that doesn't mean Uncle Sam and the state of Texas don't want their share. So let me break this down for you specifically and let me explain how this works, because this is one part I get questions all the time here on Cottage Food Laws and even Marketing Food Online, which is our other food business channel. Well, Damien, I have a home-based business, but am I supposed to collect sales tax or do I even pay income tax? So do cottage food businesses in Texas actually pay sales tax? In most cases, actually no, but there is a stipulation. If you're only selling non-taxable foods allowed under cottage food laws in Texas, here is how it actually works. Non-taxable items would include things like the following. So baked goods, cookies, cakes, muffins, etc. Some baked goods, right? Jams and jellies, candies, dried herbs, popcorn, and dry seasoning mixes. If you sell only these items, you are not required to collect or remit sales tax, okay, in Texas. However, now, if you sell any taxable food items, you must get a tax sales and use tax permit from the state, charge and collect sales tax, currently at 6.25%, and any local rate, often around 8.25% total. That's roughly a ballpark. And then file sales tax returns. Even if your sales tax due is $0, you have to do it annually. Now, let's go to the next step because it gets a little tricky here. Number 2, what if you sell through farmers markets or online, Damien? Well, if you're still only selling cottage food approved items, sales tax usually still does not apply, even at farmers markets or through online platforms like Facebook or your own website. But here's the catch. If you're selling taxable items like a hot prepared food, beverages, or non-food goods, those are subject to sales tax. Now, if you ship out of state, other tax rules might actually apply, by the way, depending upon the destination. Now, though this is actually rare, for cottage food businesses, which are limited to only in-state sales, it does still apply to online out-of-state sales, which traditionally, honestly, there's not much any state that I'm aware of that allows you to do it over state lines because that falls under the FDA jurisdiction, and that's a whole nother video and a whole nother explanation of food business because it's not cottage food. Number 3, do you need to report cottage food income on your taxes? This is a big fat yes. Okay, this is where many cottage food entrepreneurs actually get confused. Now, even if you don't actually have to collect sales tax at all, your income is still taxable under federal and state laws. Now, here's what you should do. Report your profits as a self-employment income or your IRS form Schedule C. You'll actually have to pay the following: federal income tax and then self-employment tax for Social Security and Medicare, by the way. Now, Texas has no state income tax, which is a big win because then you're not also paying additional tax to the state. Similar to Florida. Florida, by the way, doesn't have sales tax by the state level. Now, example, let's say if you earned $10,000 this year selling cookies from home and had $3,000 in expenses, packaging, ingredients, right, and labels. You'd pay taxes on the $7,000 profit because that would be the difference of what you earned and then what you spent. Okay, so remember, also keep your sales receipts. Keep your invoices from your vendors online if you're buying packaging or bags or labels. Everything you spend for the business, keep those receipts. Number 4, should you get an EIN or register an LLC? Now, this isn't required to sell under cottage food laws, but it can actually help. Separating your personal and business income, making taxes easier, opening business accounts, etc. Actually, an LLC also protects your personal assets, so it's worth considering as you grow. And by the way, if you want some resources down below this video, I'll have some resources for you. You can check out, you can do this online as well. Number 5, keep good records. Like I just mentioned, whether you're selling a dozen cookies a week or 100 pies in a month, it's crucial for tracking your income. Keep receipts for your ingredients and supplies, documenting sales, even if they're not even taxed. Keep track of your sales as well. This makes tax time much easier and keeps you compliant if the IRS ever asks questions. So some final tips, great for you to understand, is no sales tax for most Texas Cottage Foods, but you do owe federal taxes on your profits. Keep records like a real business owner, because it is a real business. And when in doubt, speak with a tax professional, of course. So if you had good questions about this, if you have a thumbs up for us, we definitely appreciate it. If this helps you understand about taxes, income, and then sales tax, definitely let us know. If you've got more questions, ask me. I'll be glad to help.